And good morning. 68 degrees out there this morning. Welcome to Thursday Morning Show.
LSU.
Hey, we can't shut up yet. He's holding Natty. Let's get this party started. I'm Jamie Cooper. Thank y'all for getting up with us. First, let's talk to Zeke in the kitchen this morning from up at Pizza Inn.
Good morning.
What are you cooking?
Well, we're going to do a chicken fried steak, southern chicken fried steak, and then I'm going to put a twist on it and make a Mexican chicken fried steak.
Now, here's the plan. Every Thursday, first of all, let's go to our special guest today, Mr. Clint Legg, the new coach up at Ardmore. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, James.
And his assistants.
LSU.
Natty.
LSU.
Zack, Bama Zack. What going on tonight is steak night up in Ardmore, too. Coach Pugh will be joining us later on this morning, too. What's happening tonight at steak night?
Well, hope everybody comes and supports everything at Pizza Inn.
You're packed usually on a Thursday night, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
But you can get them all in.
Sure.
All right, so you're going to be cooking with us every Thursday unless something comes up. The preacher man here is going to be doing his thing. Are you going to a marriage retreat this weekend, too?
Yes, we are.
We all need that from time to time, but I can't make it this weekend.
Why not?
So anyway. Hey, I want to remind everybody, too, Dennis Holman speaking tonight down at Lindsay Lane Baptist Church. Dusty informed me of that yesterday. So you folks contact church if you want to go hear Dennis tonight. Great, great guy. Hey, in just a second, Gloria's going to do the weather for you. Then I'm going to go off on my soapbox about the headline of today's News Courier. We'll do that momentarily. Y'all pay attention. It's an exclusive deal. I'm going to talk about the goats are running amongst the neighborhood. Here's Gloria with the weather.
Oh boy, here we go. 68 degrees out there today. Should be a wonderful day to get outside and enjoy some sunshine. Only 20% chance of those showers, so get out and enjoy. I know where I will be. High temperatures of 88 today. Tomorrow, pretty much the same thing, other than 30% chance of showers, so enjoy today. And it looks like there's yet another chance of showers the next day, but things are going to dry out. Looks like we're in store for a beautiful weekend. 230-4988. Just get us the
First of all, if she don't be quiet, she's going to have to be evicted from the studio.
Donnie's already done it. He's already made it.
Coach Legg, thanks for coming up this morning.
Yes, sir.
You about ready for some football?
Oh, man, yeah. More ways than one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Shuck, good to see you.
I'm glad to be
Still
here.
predicting Bama to win the 4th out of 5?
Still predicting Bama. I should be at work right now. You know that, right?
No, you're going to. Donnie's going to give me an expert opinion on something in a minute. And Zack, you got a lot of stuff to talk about?
I got a little bit. I figure with Coach Legg here, and we thought Coach P was
He'll be here.
Well, I wouldn't get much to talk about, but I got a little bit.
All right, well, hang on a second here. First things first this morning. All right, don't show anything yet, Brad. I'll talk about it in a second. This morning, walking Zorro again at 3:30. My neighbor's dogs came out, the hillbillies from hell. It's like the house of horrors in our neighborhood. We live on Briarwood Circle. Came out. I called the police again. They don't need to come out. Just tell them that the 2 dogs are out. Little did I know when I get the News Courier this morning, city planner, goats causing stink in neighborhood. Y'all bear with me a second here. It says here, goats are becoming a nuisance in an east side upscale neighborhood, according to Athens Planning Commission Gina Garth member. Garth's comments came after request on Tuesday's Planning Commission by local radiologist Dr. Joe Cannon to locate, quote, a hobby farm on his property, Briarwood Circle. It was delayed till September 17th. She says, I live in a subdivision next to Briarwood. I've got numerous calls from people who live there saying Cannon doesn't keep his animals contained. Hallelujah. They say he lets his goats run loose, and they are defecating in people's yards. They're frequently out. They don't have proper containment. They also say he lets his dogs run loose. And he's talking about now having horses and goats on a hobby farm. Harold Wells says he supported Garth in her objections. When contacted yesterday, Dr. Joe Cannon denied having farm animals. I got 2 dogs. And, let's get this, 99% of the time they stay in my yard. That is a friggin' lie. 3 times in 2 months, I've called the Athens Police Department. It's documented. The last officer that was there 2 weeks ago said he almost had to Glock the lab for attacking him also. Goes on to say, when I moved here 10 years ago, it was like a mosquito swamp. Another lie. Says he has made his property like a manicured park where he can have guests. Another lie. It looks like a tornado came through there. Let me show some pictures of this past Thanksgiving when Maddie was with us behind our garage doors. There's 2 goats that belong to Dr. Joseph Cannon. He came and picked them up late. I like Joe personally. I don't like him as a neighbor. He needs to move. He owns 10,000 acres in Limestone County. Go there and put your friggin' farm. This was a picture just this week in front of his house. A diesel truck with a backhoe on the back. Let me tell you folks in the city of Athens something. I grew up in New Hope, Alabama on a farm. I didn't pay $1 million for a house on Briarwood Circle to live on another friggin' farm. Joe Cannon, I don't care who he is, how much property he owns, if he wants to have a farm, go somewhere else, move out of our neighborhood. I don't like it. You're the hillbillies, and I came from the country. Move. You are a disgrace to the neighborhood. Absolutely. Nobody in the neighborhood likes you. Move.
No, they like him. They just don't like his ways.
We don't like him as a neighbor.
Right.
So my suggestion is either abide by the law or find somewhere else to go. And this will be our stance when we go to the Planning Commission. Donnie, what's the process?
Well, he has to, if it's farm animals and it violates a zoning ordinance, he'll have to come to the zoning board. And we're pretty strict because it tells in there what animals, what kind of livestock or anything you can have inside the city limits, what's allowed and what's not allowed.
I don't want to be laying out at the pool.
And unless there's a hardship.
Can he get this? Is there a snowball's chance he could get this passed?
We just have to hear the story. I don't think
you
there
heard
is.
my side.
Yeah, we got to hear his. But the thing, there has to be a hardship. If he has other land where he can put the animals, then the hardship doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, there has to be a hardship for him to have those animals there.
What's a hardship? You mean he's got to have them to survive?
Or has
exactly.
other places.
What's he going to be out there milking necks and having chickens out there laying eggs?
It's not going to happen. The city doesn't allow farm animals inside the city limits.
That's the most expensive neighborhood in the city of Athens.
Well, I mean, you live
the
there. I hope you never need him as a doctor, because that's what you...
I know.
He's a doctor.
Well, he used to be. Thanks.
He's
a great doctor.
He's my radiologist.
He's a great doctor.
He's a great doctor.
But he's a horrible neighbor.
And there's rules and regulations in place to prevent all this.
Let's move on and talk some football, Clint.
He's like,
unless you know how to do a goat stew.
Yes, sir.
Now, he's got horses.
Now,
but
see,
he's
now
in the
that
county.
sounds pretty good right there. Just take one of the goats and make
need
goat
to
stew
borrow
out of it.
someone's
Get Blakely out there and gun them down. All right, Zach, let's get cranking on some football. I've voiced my 2 cents. This one, you will continue to hear that to this next planning commission.
No,
because
you
if
will
that's
not.
denied,
You
you'll
said
never
it
hear
not.
the end of it on this TV show.
You've said
You
enough.
know it? You will never hear the end of it.
You've said enough. Go on, Zach. Yeah.
Yard
Tell
sale
'em.
tomorrow and Saturday. Hey, gotta do it. Mama will get me if I don't.
Hey, she makes a...
21249 Nelson Lane, my house.
You ought to be living
Zach,
in...
what do you got? A business on the side now?
Hey, I need some money to go to football games.
You ought to be living over there in Briarwood.
We can't. I don't know. We can have a yard sale.
Well, no, you can have goats. You ought to be able to have a yard sale.
Hey.
So y'all come on out.
Now, who went? Did you go to Tuscaloosa Saturday too?
Yes, sir.
What was it like down there?
I'm sorry.
In football-wise, there's some areas that we talked about when I'm worried about with Alabama. Depth and offensive linemen. One of those guys go down, we're in trouble. And if AJ goes down, Alabama's in trouble. There's not a quality backup quarterback in the house. I don't think.
So we're screwed.
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll just run the ball.
We're not screwed. We'll run the football.
We'll run. We got to run.
backs.
All right, Zach.
The best thing that we wasn't happy with Saturday was Ari Quanjo at right tackle. Well, thank goodness Monday Ari Quanjo was moved back to left guard.
Abby, hand me my GQ magazine.
I made a phone call to Coach Saban, and he moved
Now,
back.
Zach, you have new glasses today.
Yes, I do.
Larry Bud Nelman look.
I had a lady at work, so I looked very Clark Kentish. I said, well, if I could get the
Well,
ladies
you get
like
mine
Clark
on, well, I'll
Kent,
get in the
I said, then I'd be good to go.
I got my.
Hey, y'all got the new issue of GQ? GQ. It doesn't feature me in here, but it's got
It's got me somewhere in there.
I hadn't read it, but I've heard excerpts.
You bought it for one article.
Oh, that's the wrong picture. That's the one back
Don't
on the
show
back
that.
side of Coach Saban.
He said there's nothing but ads for fancy clothes in here.
Wonder if he still heats
He looks
the
about
shoes
20
up.
years younger than he actually is in that picture right there.
Kind of airbrush.
Hey, airbrush should do a lot of stuff to you.
He's the man.
Go ahead, keep talking, Zach.
But as far as practice, Maury Cooper practiced this week, which is always a good thing. Wilson Love returned to practice. Brandon Ivory was limited, but he's expected to be back full strength. Jeffrey Pagan returned to practice, and also Alvin Kamara. Auburn. Now, last week I got on here and bragged about Jonathan Ford at running back, and I told Brad Boone they moved him to cornerback.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be cornerback, and you got Kyle Frazier moving up the depth chart at safety. So I told Auburn fans, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. If you back up quarterbacks, now you're second string safety. But
shoot.
But their offensive line, they say, is coming together. Auburn's happy with
Well,
that.
we start Thursday, a week from tonight.
Do what now?
A week from tonight, South Carolina plays North Carolina, right?
And then tomorrow night you got jamborees.
You got jamborees, Clint. You guys playing where?
Yes, sir, at home, Ardmore.
Will the concession stand be open?
And Zeke's alive.
Zeke could be there cooking.
Zeke's the man running the concession. Westminster Christian. I'll make my debut on the sidelines. I have no idea what I'm
Y'all
going
play
to
any
do.
Thursday night games this year?
Well, who knows about Butler and Johnson and those guys? They'll make that decision usually on Mondays.
Okay.
But I don't know, but it don't bother whenever. We'll just get ready to play then.
And Coach Pugh and East Limestone, they play at Spartan tomorrow night.
Sparkman won one game last year. The coach was hired like midsummer, wasn't he?
Yes, sir. I mean, but Sparkman and Jeff will tell you this when he gets here. That's a ticking time bomb. The number of athletes they get. It's amazing that they're not a perennial powerhouse.
Yeah, I know. What happened over there?
I don't know. But ever since I can remember, it's always been like that. And I remember it way back in the 80s.
Hey, I've got to give a shout out this morning. Talked to my old coach yesterday. Gilmer Ellis called me. I had left him a message, and he brought up a subject about, and he's the only guy I've ever heard that said, I mentioned this, people don't out of Hazel Green, and give a shout out to Matt out that way. But back many years ago when I played football, Coach McKinney, their coach at the time, literally, and he mentioned it because he saw it, Gilmer, he just retired from Danville after 38 years down there. And I think I was the first person he ever paddled. Remembers Coach McKinney throwing rocks at the bus as we drove away that night after beating the Hazel Green Trojans back in 1970. Oh, so I got it backed up. What else, Zach?
I was going to give you some more teams that are playing tomorrow night. Well, tonight you got Lee at Austin. You got Decatur Heritage at Faultville, Clements at Danville,
That's
Hartsville at Huntsville tonight. Then other local teams, you got Clay Chalkville at Decatur tomorrow night. Athens is at Madison Academy. East at Spartan is at 6 o'clock. Coach, your game's at 7, right? Elkmont at East Lawrence at 7. And see, Tanner's not playing in one. West Limestone. I cannot see where West Limestone is playing.
Well, let's take a break and let Zach regroup and figure out what he's talking about this morning. We'll take our first break of the day. Thank y'all for getting up with us on a Thursday morning edition of Cooper & Company Live. Y'all hang on.
Well, this Thanksgiving